Welcome to the SteelersFix Podcast, and before we jump in, make sure you hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel, SteelersFix, so you never miss an episode. All right, let's get into it. So Mike Tomlin took the podium this week, and honestly, he sounded like a coach who knows exactly where his team is at, and exactly how close they are to losing control of this season. He said the tape told the same story they all saw in the stadium. Really strong first 30 minutes, then the wheels fell off in all three phases in the second half. And he owned it. He straight up said part of being a tough team to beat is not beating yourself, and he put that responsibility on his own shoulders. He also didn't hide from the penalties, especially those post-snap ones, and even took a shot at the guys who represent the team during the coin toss. That's when you know he's fed up. Injury-wise, Derek Harmon is out again with that knee. Big loss for a front that just gave up 249 on the ground. Everyone else is questionable. Patrick Queen with the glute, James Pierre in concussion protocol, and Aaron Rodgers with the left wrist. But Tomlin made it clear the Rodgers tag is more about managing him early in the week than any question about availability. He expects Rodgers to play. Tomlin also got into the team's emotions. He said he never wants players to apologize for caring, and he views their frustration that way. Honestly, that tracks. This group hasn't quit. They look bad sometimes, but they haven't quit. Then came the question everyone wanted. How did he feel about fans chanting for his firing? Tomlin handled it like Tomlin always does, direct, calm, and brutally honest. He said, "In general, I agree with them," meaning he understands that this is entertainment, and for Steelers fans, winning is the entertainment. If you're not winning, people are going to express themselves. He said he respects it, he shares the frustration, and despite all that noise, he said he has no plans for wide-scale coaching changes. Arthur Smith isn't going anywhere. Teryl Austin isn't going anywhere. No shakeups. Tomlin was also asked whether the offense was limited with Rodgers managing that wrist. He said no, that wasn't the issue. And then someone asked if this team even has an identity right now. Tomlin's answer, yeah, 6-6, and I don't like it. Probably the most honest line of the whole press conference. He also finally explained why Darius Slay was a healthy scratch. They wanted to get a look at Asante Samuel Jr., and clearly they liked what they saw because Slay is gone and Samuel is up on the active roster. Now, stepping back from Tomlin's quotes, the reality is this. The Steelers have lost 5 of 7. They're coming off a brutal home loss where fans booed Renegade and wanted the coach fired. And yet, somehow, they're tied for first place in the AFC North. This season can still go either way. Complete collapse to 6-11 or a late push that wins the division. It sounds insane, but that's where we are, and Tomlin knows it. He said confidence comes from doing the job your entire adult life, and one bad game doesn't erase that. He said he reevaluates everything, and change happens week to week based on necessity, who's available, what the opponent does, game environment, all of it. But here's the problem, and Tomlin didn't hide from it. The changes this year have been bandages, not solutions. That's why the team keeps snapping back to average. 6-6. Win a big game, then give up almost 300 yards on the ground. It's inconsistent football. That's why the frustration is boiling over. On the roster front, the Steelers claimed Adam Thielen off waivers. Look, he's 35, but they desperately need someone besides DK Metcalf to get open. Rodgers even joked that this is the best Thielen's body has felt because he barely played in Minnesota this year. But Rodgers believes he has something left, and honestly, at this point, anything helps. Pat Freiermuth spoke too, and he kept it real. He said yes, it's frustrating barely being used. He had 17 snaps last week and 0 targets. But he said he still trusts Arthur Smith and just wants to do whatever role he's given. Rodgers actually backed him up and said he'd love to see Pat more involved, but Darnell Washington has been playing so well, it's hard to take him off the field. The TE usage is wild. Steelers are top 10 in the league in 12 personnel usage, but bottom 5 in EPA out of it. They use 13 personnel, the second most in the league, but again bottom 3rd in EPA. Meanwhile, the Rams are killing teams with it, so clearly it's not the personnel grouping, it's how the Steelers are using it. Arthur Smith then stepped in and talked about getting Thielen ready, exploring all options, and not buying into the idea that Jonnu Smith and Freiermuth are redundant. He also said the outside noise, including Fire Tomlin chants, can't affect how you coach. High pressure, high performance. And then Teryl Austin spoke bluntly about the defense. He said everyone knows they didn't tackle well, not just corners, everyone. He liked what he saw from Asante Samuel Jr. He said physicality isn't the issue, inconsistency is. And if Patrick Queen can't go, Peyton Wilson will wear the green dot just like he does every week in practice. All right, so now we head to Baltimore. A hostile environment, season on the line, and a Ravens team that absolutely wants to bury the Steelers' season. The Steelers are short-handed up front without Harmon, Queen is banged up, Rodgers is limited, and this offense is still searching for literally anyone to step up besides Metcalf. But it's Steelers-Ravens. These games are never normal. They're usually ugly, physical, low scoring, and decided by one or two plays. The question is, do the Steelers finally respond? Do they rise to the moment? Or does this thing keep sliding? Here's my prediction. I think the Steelers show more fight than last week, but I don't think this is the week the offense suddenly wakes up. Rodgers will battle, the defense will hang in early, but without Harmon and with the Ravens' run game rolling right now, it's going to be tough. I've got Ravens 23, Steelers 16. Hope I'm wrong. Prove me wrong, Pittsburgh.